One thing that I talked about yesterday in our preview episode ahead of the State of the Union was President Trump's need to drive a contrast. Right now, Republicans are facing a fairly scary enthusiasm gap going into the midterms, and one way to address that is to remind everybody what happens if Democrats win. That's something that he did a very good job drawing policy contrasts with the other side.
Under Biden and his corrupt partners in Congress and beyond, it reached a breaking point with the Green New Scam, open borders for everyone. They poured in by the millions and millions from prisons, from mental institutions. They were murderers, 11,888 murders. They came into our country. You allowed that to happen. And record-setting inflation that cost the typical family $34,000 in just a speck of time.
Whether it's simply reminding people what Joe Biden left behind, or the fact that existing Democrats right now who are trying to get in power are making no effort to say anything they'd do differently than Joe Biden, who had one of the lowest approval ratings in history, welcoming President Trump back into office, that's an issue that Republicans have to drive going into November so people understand the stakes if they stay home. President Trump used this speech to drive the contrast with Democrats. They made it fairly easy with some of their own antics. Here's Ilhan Omar trying to shout him down.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Democrats boycotted the event entirely, choosing to resist by attending other events.
And yes, our trans kids across this country who are sick and tired of being bullied because it's not trans kids driving up your rent.
When are we going to say it, ladies and gentlemen?
But what was interesting is a lot of these other events were funded by left-wing dark money groups. MoveOn.org being funded by George Soros and Arabella Advisors. State of the Swamp also aligned with dark money groups like Arabella Advisors that had all sorts of people in costumes, frogs, and awkward displays.
And at the end of the night, we're going to storm Applebee's.
I defy Trump and his authoritarian project by standing in joyful, radical, peaceful resistance with the Portland Frog Brigade.